Welcome back to another video. Please like and subscribe if this helps you out in any way. Today we're going to be working on my BMW again. We got some new parts and we're going to kind of take our time because it's a lot to do. No lift. Probably put it up on jack stands maybe, but we'll see. Time to check out the goodies. ECS tuning. I got a couple things that I already had here as well because I was going to go over to my buddy's house, but I just want to take my time. Had some vacuum hose that I already had. My SSR intakes, only because I don't know if my stage 2 AFEs are going to work. So we have these just in case. So that stuff I'd already had. Outlets. I went with the aluminum ones just because it's so hot there on the turbo side. I thought it would be a better idea. Kind of got them mocked up. Got the seals already in there where they connect to the turbos. And then V-band. I got the V-bands for these. They are right here. V-bands are going to go on either side. Right here and right here. And then you retain the factory V-band from the BMW on these two sides. So, and then I'll probably, I'm not sure, it's got the one-time use clamp from the factory. I'll probably have to cut that for it to connect to my intercooler, and then I'll use just a regular adjustable band to tighten that up. So there's that. We got silicone inlets. We'll open these and show you these here in a second. So I'm not sponsored by ECS Tuning. I paid for all this myself. If you like and subscribe and share, then maybe I'll get free stuff. That would be killer. But for now, I paid for all of it myself. So here's the back outlet. Or inlet, excuse me, inlet. You can see it's got, it's where my oil catch can. I'm gonna put the factory deal in there. This goes down to the turbo, and this is for, I have a tile blow off valve, so I'll just block this off. And then this is the front one. So I'll probably do the outlets because you can do the outlets from the top and then the front inlet from the top half of the car. I'll have to jack it up because the hydraulic pump or some sort of a pump, there's a torque screw that holds onto your fan. I'm gonna pull the fan out. I'm gonna pull a bunch of stuff out so it's easier to maneuver in there. So this has got all the fans that come with it. And then these are what I was talking about for blocking off. I can't remember what it's called. Your stock setup. I can't remember what they're called. Diverter valves, I think. But anyways, we'll figure it out. All right, so we're gonna take the valve cover off. The little air inlet thingy. Pull out the fan. The air canisters, we'll get rid of those, and then we'll move the coolant tank over. And I really don't want to take the heat shield off down in here. You got all your boost solenoids and everything connected to that, and I think that's how everyone else does it, but I'm gonna try to get away from doing it that way because I don't want to have to label all that stuff and then pull it off and then worry about where it goes after the fact. I was watching a video the other day and a guy, oh, by the way, if you do the silicone outlets, it's one piece. I think only the aluminum are two piece, which this gets hotter than heck down in here. So I wanted to go with the aluminum ones, but you can see the stock ones are like 1 inch OD. I was watching a video the other day. The guy was saying that if you upgrade your outlets, it's not really going to do anything with stock turbos. That's bullshit. It's going to make a huge difference. You'll see, because I'm going to dyno this car after the fact. He also mentioned that the stock turbos are only good to about 400 horsepower, but we'll see. All right, I'm gonna start taking some of this stuff apart, and we'll go from there. Clear out some room here. I'm gonna try to get this front inlet too. I think I'll do the back inlet at my buddy's house. Because probably have to pull the cats to reach that. And then I hope it's not an absolute nightmare. I'll put it up on jack stands here shortly. I'm gonna see if I can get to any of this ahead of time. Yeah, that's gonna be a beast because I went with the 2-inch inlets. Because if you're gonna go through all this trouble, you might as well get the most bang for your buck. Speaking of that, it was only about 400 and something bucks shipped to do all this, and then we'll see how many ever hours of my time it takes to get it done. But labeled that 1, that 2 for my vacuum lines for my little vacuum canisters. So I'll pull those out, pop this guy off, unbolt the coolant reservoir, and then I don't know, we'll try to see if we can reach all this crap from here without taking too much out here. All right, probably gonna slow-mo you because I'm gonna take the cowl off and probably the oil catch can. I'm just gonna take a bunch of stuff off, and we'll go from there. So I got a new toolbox, so it's taking me forever to find my tools. So what I have here is a massive extension. Just wanted to throw this part in here. This is super helpful for getting this canister out of here. These are way down in here, so super important. And a magnet. A magnet also works wonders too. It's 3 10 mil bolts for this. Boom, magnet, gotta have it. And this is gonna open up a ton of space here for us to get down in here and get this stuff out. Matter of fact, I need to see what injectors I have. While I have the top off here. Maybe if I can see one. Index 5. Damn, ways out. Hopefully these last. So on the very top, the last 2 digits are going to be your index number. So these all look like 5s to me, which is good. Uh-oh. I got one index 9. So that means this one right here, if you can see that, I don't know if you can see it, has been replaced. So what is it? 5, 9, and 5. So yeah. All right, I think I did most of that kind of off camera because I was giving you an overview, but she's loose. It's 3 10 mils, and pop off your vacuum lines, which, like I said, I have them labeled. You need to pop them back off of here. Looks like the overhead one goes to the right side and the other one goes there, so I'm gonna leave that like that, and then pop this bad boy out. Looks like I have to label these two so I'm not all confused when I go to put that all back together. Alright, so pulled that out. I don't know if you can see it back in there, I'll get some better light, but there's one of the V-bands. I'm gonna pop this right here with a little pick tool. You just pop that up and then we'll disconnect that, slide that out of the way, and then put all my parts out in the yard. So, and then I got my little cart here for setting my tools on and all that stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna keep kicking. Then I'm probably gonna jack the car up and pull that fan out, which I've done a bunch of times already for some other stuff. And then I got a set of rollers over there. We're gonna just put the car on that. So that'll give me a little bit of extra space to get up underneath it. So 2 10 mils, one right here, one right here. That'll pull your coolant reservoir out. Goes like that. Oh, maybe there's one more. Nope, there's a rubber grommet down here and a power wire of sorts, but we're gonna pop this. I'm gonna grab a rag real quick. So I'd say the majority of this job is pulling all these parts off to just get to where you need to be. So come on. I should come right off, but it's not. You don't want to break it. If I break it, I'm screwed. I'm doing this right here. Oh yeah, she wants to come. Oh, there we go. Just tug very ever so gently. Tuck this guy over here. Put a rag on this guy. Put him there. So, all right. Power connection is just this little guy right here. You just pinch it, plugs into the bottom, pull that guy off, and then scoot him out of the way. And then you can see right here, my V-band. Pop that guy off and then see if I can reach back in there, which that looks like it's gonna be a biatch, but no, it's not gonna be that bad. I can see, thankfully, whoever put this car together left it exposed a little bit, but I'm gonna have to jack the car up here shortly to access the intercooler, drop everything out from underneath, and should be good to go. Alright, I don't want to bore you with putting it on jack stands, but I got that extra stock wheel underneath it. I was trying to put all 4 of these underneath the wheels, but my jack just wouldn't bring it up high enough, so I'm going to settle for this because I only need to get to that one connection at the intercooler to finish everything that I need to finish. So got it up on jack stands at the lowest setting, and then I got the tire under there just in case it doesn't crush my ass. So that's where we're at, and we're gonna carry on. All right, I didn't have to lift it that high because that's the only connection I need to disconnect. Just take a little pick tool right here, pop that guy off. This is aftermarket intercooler. So obviously I had to pull the plastic shroud off and all that stuff, but that's pretty self-explanatory. So pop that guy off, and then I'll jump up top and take those V-bands off and then try to pull that guy out. So you can see that V-band right there. See where it connects to the turbo? It's got a 5mm Allen, and it's not even finger tight. I already got one little turn on it, so not too horrible. And then you can see the back one. Focus. Why are you not focusing? See the back one. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There you go. Can't really see the head of it, but it's right past that wastegate valve. Barely see it back there, so pretty sure I can get my arm back there, but I got long ass arms, so I'm gonna try to get it without popping any of this stuff off, and then getting it back on is gonna be the freaking miracle. But I popped this guy off. You see him right there, you see that little nut, and then disconnect it at the intercooler and try to snake this thing out. All right, got the first one out. So you have to kind of bend it. See that notch? Be careful, you don't want to break it. So I'm gonna clean this up. It's got like a little retainer grommet right here, thankfully. I'm gonna leave mine on. Maybe yours don't if it's already got some aftermarket stuff done to it, but I'll clean that up with some carb cleaner before I reinstall it later. All right, straight up, my arms do not fit inside that hole. Like, I tried everything I could to get to that last V-band back there. Holy cow. So I took the heat shield off, and the boost solenoids, which are dangling right here. 4 10 mils hold the boost solenoid on, and then 3 of these, I got them with quarters, 1/4 inch. This guy right here, 1/4 inch. They're star heads, but, or whatever they're called, but it doesn't matter, they came off. So what a pain in the ass, but I need that last little bit of room. And then at my shop, because I got the valve cover done and they didn't clean it up, which I don't blame them. At my shop, parts get cleaned before they get reinstalled. So yeah, I'm gonna clean these up. I'm gonna clean myself up because that was a bit of a beast, and then reinstall that. But it's super important to me. I could maybe get the Allen, the 5 mil on there for that V-band in the back, but I wasn't gonna chance to fit up and putting it all back together. That needs to be clutch. So anyways, I'm gonna clean this up real good and dry it up, clean myself up, and then get back to it. All right, so I got it fully disconnected. It's disconnected down from the intercooler, or the intercooler. So underneath that heat shield, just like the replacement one, there's a small rubber deal right here. So I'm gonna cut that shit in half because I'm not gonna fight it getting it out of here. All right, so I've been at it about 3 hours-ish. I just snapped this one-time use only. The screwdriver, pull that off because we're gonna have to reuse that. Attach this to the intercooler. I'm gonna clean all this up, make sure this is good to go, attach it to that, and then go from there. Aftermarket one, wide open. So it's gonna be a huge difference. We're gonna start taking that front inlet off while I got so much stuff removed. I mean, all my parts that are gonna go on, minus the intakes, old parts, and then the car is just freaking torn apart, but it'll go back together easy. Looks like a yard sale, but it's not. The front inlet's a T30, Torx 30. There's 2 right here. And they go right here. You can't really see. Right here. It's hard to miss. Right here. That's literally the only thing that holds it there. You gotta disconnect it from the radiator hoses, which I'm about to do, and then I'm just gonna pull it out. Didn't film that last part because I flipped the fuck out. So pulled the fan shroud out. It's over there. Never had that big of a problem with that thing. It always just slides out, but I had some work done. I had a new tensioner pulley installed. The light's horrible, and I don't know what they did, dude, but that thing was bound up. So I almost broke that, and I pulled the inlet out and then body slammed it on the driveway. So anyways, I wasn't gonna use that again, but this is where I'm at. Car's in a million pieces, but anyways, I love the car, so I'm just gonna chill out at this point and take a couple deep breaths and be good to go. So I'm almost positive this goes inside the new inlet because it came out of here. This was just suctioned on. There was nothing holding that on other than these two bolts right here. And gravity. But looking at the diameter of the turbo and the diameter of the new VRSF, whatever the hell they're called at this point, I think this slides in there. So obviously, for some reason, when you get anything from ECS Tuning, it doesn't come with directions, but whatever, I'm sure they're online, but I'm about 99% positive, just food for thought. All right. I shoved that rubber piece inside there, and that went on way too clean for that not to be the case. So you definitely want to save those. I'll put that in the memory bank. I'm gonna leave everything out until I get the outlets hooked up. I've got the turbo covered on that side. The other one points down, and I haven't worked back there anyways. So the hardest part is trying to keep all these little lines, and freaking all this stuff snaps back into the heat shroud, and then I gotta get the heat shroud on, and then I gotta put the boost solenoids back on. But we got this in place for now. I'm gonna kind of leave it floating. Well, it floats anyways, so just gotta keep it away from the belts. You can see how it kind of kicks out like that. I'll put that cap in and on later, and then hopefully my inlets or intakes fit up to this without having to pull that so far forward. It's going to be touching all that stuff, but I'll throw the dual cones on if need be. The whole entire thing was getting that band where it needed to be, so everything else slid on, and then I just got it kind of hand tight. I'm going to throw that back outlet on, get that semi-snug, not all the way snug, and then fit the rest of the stuff up, and then I can start buttoning some of this stuff up. I'm gonna do that back outlet later. I think I've said that a few times. So, that is by far the shittiest design I have ever seen. That back V-band is a pain in the ass, to say the least. It literally took me by myself like 2 hours. I don't know why the stupid camera ain't focusing. There we go. Holy shit, man. So that's finally on there. Inlet, once I got my stupid freaking fan out, went pretty good. We'll mess with the fitment later, and then we got it. Let me add some light. Stupid finger. Got it torqued down in there. It fits pretty good. Got all the wires in front of it and the hoses in front of it. So now we'll put the rest together and go from there. Kit did not come with a new boot, so retaining my factory boot. You've seen how I snapped off the deal there. Now I'm gonna try to get the fitment on this thing just right. This one should be a lot easier because gravity is gonna help you out. That one back there was a pain in the ass, man. Holy cow. Anyways, we're gonna get it. We're gonna button it up tonight, maybe tomorrow, and yeah, go from there. Basically, if you want inlets and outlets, don't. I mean, you can, but holy shit, dude. It's like doing straight-legged deadlifts for like 6 hours, and I did legs today, so I'm torched. Well, back V-band's on. Had to buy a few things to get to that guy. With the diameter of this tube doubling, in a sense, it's a lot harder to get to what I could get to relatively easy last time. So I got, what is it? One of these guys. It's like a little whip and then a wobbly socket. Get in there and got it tightened down, so that ended up working out great. Now I just got to get this front one, which kind of see that silver deal right there. That's kind of how I got it positioned. That's as far over as it can go for me to have, you know, access to that thing. So tightening this V-band down here, I'll do that back one, and then I can start putting that heat shield back together once I get both of these squared away. and then I'll attach it down there on my intercooler, start squaring some of this stuff back away, and then come up with a plan how to get to that back inlet, because I can't even see from underneath. My car's an all-wheel drive too, so it's got a bunch more stuff in the way, but we'll get her figured out. I didn't film myself putting the heat shield back on, but yeah, those 1/4 inch bolts I was talking about, I put the first 3 in. I'm not going to worry about that back one. It's one was missing anyways. Got all the little harnesses, little clips back on. Started the boost solenoids. Everything looks good. Got these all tucked in the front where they go. Everything looks good, so everything's tight other than down there. So far so good. All right, for the most part, got this side all buttoned up. Just need to work on the front, the intercooler, and then start putting parts back on, more parts. So it came together pretty good. Seems overwhelming because you have to take so much stuff off, but we'll see. I think I got everything tight as I can get it, so to work on that back outlet maybe tomorrow. Most parts put back together, so I'm just going to run these SSR intakes for now. When I put that back outlet on, I'll see how my FE intakes go. So just buried him down in here so I can get a little bit of distance. It's my fan 2-inch line. I mean, I'll be cutting it close, so I'm gonna button up the bottom, and I don't know, I might add a little freaking vacuum line here. It's a little tight, but still got my stock inlet in the back. I'm gonna get the bottom buttoned up and then fired up, see what it sounds like. All right, car's back together for the most part. Probably the hardest part of the whole job was taking off all the extra parts to get the room you needed to install the new parts, and then the V-bands were a little bit of a bugger, but other than that, all I got left is the back inlet, so I'm gonna probably do a part 2 on that one. I'll just have everything ready to rock and roll because I'm using my buddy's lift, so I'm afraid those on the cats, the bolts are probably gonna break, and I'll have to drill them out, put through bolts on it and all that stuff until I can get my my new cats installed. But anyways, hopefully this helps somebody. Hopefully you guys like it. If you did, please like and share. Thanks.